Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is Sunday morning and I got work to do. Okay, because I got work to do, I am going to do this little short video while I'm doing work. You don't mind if I do this little short video while I'm doing work? Okay, I don't mind. If you don't mind, I don't mind, and neither one of us mind, and why are we minding? Ladies and gentlemen, I got something that I was just thinking about because I was doing some research on something, and then as I'm doing the research, I thought about something. You know, the 14th Amendment, section number 1 says, United States citizen is someone born in the United States. Well, then stop being born in the United States. What about a person who is unborn in the United States, who was not born in the United States? You see, I just realized being born in the United States is a legal term. So let's kill that legal term. Let's get rid of the legal terminology. I know some people, well, we already tried that and we already did this. And I know we're going to get some people who are going to be ignorant like that, going to tell me what they already did. I'm not talking about what you already did. Nobody's asking you what you already tried, because apparently you didn't try it right. Okay. Whew. Glad we got that out of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be working on the new trust that we're going to be setting up. Like I told you, this is the year of the trust. You need to trust me on that one, okay? We're adding provisions that are necessary. I received someone's communication regarding our trust, and they made a suggestion. It is a very good suggestion. It's just I can't do what I want to do, but the suggestion comes in handy. That's the first thing. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be some aspects of our trust that some of you won't be acquiring by yourselves. You will try. You will even try to take our documents, send it to your family and friends, and have them mimic it. We don't mind you doing that. However, selling it, then you're going to have a problem with me, because you ain't going to get no help. There will be no third-party processes or services allowed to your organization. Somebody wants the program, they're going to have to go online, sign up for it. The process will be simple. Application will be simple. See the application for SAA? If you ain't seen the application for SAA, then you need to go look at it. Application for SAA is at SAAlimited.com. Go to the middle of the page. You'll see the application form. Take a look at the application form. Look at how simple it is. It's not complicated. So, this application for the setting up a trust for yourself, just applying, you'll receive it. There'll be sections you will need to fill out. I will try to do a video showing you suggestions as to what other people have done in certain sections, adding certain information. But some of you have Q packs that you still have never completed. You paid for it, but you've never completed it. Shame on you. So there'll be some of you who will do this process as well, because you are intimidated by putting the wrong thing. The document protects you from putting the wrong thing. Okay? There's going to be a cover page. It's going to literally tell you where certain things mean, where certain things don't mean. It will tell you what a nominee is. It will tell you who the trustee is. And in your application, if you don't mind me saying so, the United States has volunteered to be your trustee. So make them your trustee in your application. You don't give them no outlandish orders. Tell them they got to bow before you every time you walk down the street. See, that ain't going to never work. You cannot be unreasonable. But getting back to this thing about hold on, let me show you something. You see this? Now, see, the Unborn talks about fetuses. I don't want to do fetuses. Why do I have to? Unborn children. Unborn children as constitutional persons. Ladies and gentlemen, remember I told you that the Constitution does recognize that children have constitutional rights, because the Constitution's Bill of Rights speaks as to, pay attention, persons. Does not speak as to citizens. Go back to the first 10 amendments. Nothing in the first 10 amendments says anything about citizens of the United States. Citizens of the United States doesn't come into play until the 14th Amendment. Now, citizens of states come into play in the 9th and 10th Amendment. But go back and look at all the other amendments. They don't say anything about a citizen. It says persons. Well, children are persons. They're little persons. They're little people. Anyway, so because they're little persons, are they members of the public? Yes, they are part of the public. Do they have a right to vote? Technically, voting was something that came up later. But by law, every citizen should have the right to vote. Doesn't matter if they're 18 or 21. See, these are statutory issues about voting. Now go back. If you don't believe me, let me let you know something. Let me tell you something. Voting under the so-called, what amendment is that, number 12? About the president and how they're elected? That's a federal right. That's not a state right. Well, the state handled voting. Yeah, that's because Congress instituted those provisions. But voting for a president, that's a federal right, not a state right. I know. So the states don't control that. Now, I don't vote. I am not part of any of this earthly stupidity where men think that they get to rule over themselves and get to make that choice. Knock yourselves out. But if you look at the law, nothing in the law says that Congress can take away your national right to vote and give it to the state. So there should never have been a Voting Rights Act. The voting rights was already there when they said about how the president was to be elected, how the vice president was to be elected. The only reason why they did that is because no congressional member is elected federally. Hold on now. Y'all don't understand me. They put in provisions as to how members of Congress were elected. They're elected by their state. And then they formulate, and then they are appointed to federal positions. That's why they hold two offices, one state, one federal. That's why they have two offices, one in the state and one in Washington, D.C. But the president doesn't have two offices. Well, he has three. Yes, he does. He does have three offices, but they're capacities. Okay, because he doesn't represent a single state. He represents all of the states. So the election of the president is federal. It is not by the states. Well, why do they have the states doing the election? Because that is the presumption and assumptions. Because the states did not want to lose the equal right to elect the president. Okay, so now that you know that, when it comes to all these elections and they're doing all this arguing, or when it comes to voter rights and they're saying they want to suppress this and suppress that, they never had the right to do that. Congress never had the right to come up with Voting Rights Act. The Constitution already incorporated voting rights to all persons. Again, don't believe me? Go back and read it. Understand the context for which the Constitution was brought together. But anyway, that's not my party. I don't vote. I've never voted. I don't take sides. I could care less about a Democrat and a Republican schematic. Okay? I could care less about all of that. Because they're all jokes to begin with. That's right, you heard me say it, and they know that they're jokes. Look, I've had somebody, we were talking yesterday, and this young man mentioned to me about how he's looked at some of the cases with SAA and saw that the judges have said this and said that. They've actually said that we have not responded and have not participated in several cases where we have responded, where we have participated. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what we're going to do. Those of you who've had issues with the courts, you've put your paperwork in, the courts have ignored you. We've been filing documents and the clerk of the court has been blocking it, has been ignoring it. One judge actually forbarred any further filings. Pay attention. He said no further filings and then said we're not responding. And of course, I don't listen to no further filings. No, because you can't block my access to the court. There is no provision in law that allows anyone to deny an individual a right to petition government. You cannot block it. No en banc. There is no law. He's operating under statute. He's operating under some little rule created by the court. The court does not get to create rules. What are you talking about, Willis? There is nothing in the law that allows the court to create its own rules. especially when it comes to accessing the court. They don't get to create their own rules. See, they're governed by the Constitution, not governed by statute. It is a statute that allows them to create rules. Well, statutes do not preempt the Constitution. Now, wait. I thought I said we didn't have constitutional rights. You don't. You don't have a single constitutional right. Pay attention. But I thought that screen right there, it says constitutional right, constitutional person. No, the Constitution did not establish a single right. The Constitution is a trust agreement, people. What? Nah, the Constitution ain't no trust agreement. Really? Go back and look at the grantors. We, the people of the United States. Go back and look at the trustees, the members of the government. And then go back and look at the beneficiaries, the people of the United States. That's a trust agreement, people. This is the year of the trust. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, the year of the trust will last for the next 20 years. Will last for the next 30 years. Will last for the next 40 years. Everybody's going to be doing trust when they wake up to understand what a trust is. People, this is the year of the trust. Trust me! Okay. So since the Constitution is a trust agreement, you've been hearing me say that since 2012. It's a treaty. It's a trust agreement. It's a contract. Because it is a trust agreement, then hold them to the trust. Get the fiduciaries for breach of trust. How do you sue government for breach of trust? Well, there's this thing called the Federal Court of Claims. Bring forth your breach of trust claim in the Federal Court of Claims. But if you're going to bring forth a breach of trust claim, you're going to have to bring forth the proof that it is a trust agreement. All you got to do is stipulate who the parties are to that trust agreement. Remember, it does not have to be signed by the parties. It is a compelled performance trust agreement. The fact that they perform, the fact that they received a copy, everybody's received a copy. Okay? We keep calling it a constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not a constitution. It is a trust agreement. It is an agreement between the parties. It is an agreement. It is under the right to contract clause. The right to contract clause is the common law right to contract. The people entered into that agreement, pay attention, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, they came to an agreement to establish justice, to ensure, okay, it's an agreement. It's a trust agreement. We are putting this in trust, and we're going to appoint trustees known as government. So what is the first thing they told their trustees? Congress shall make no law trying to circumvent this agreement, abridging the rights of the people, interfering with the right to practice religion, the freedom of the press, the freedom of speech, and the right of the people, us, to peacefully assemble. Then it said, hey, you shall have the right to protect yourselves and bear arms. Everybody has the right to defend themselves. Nobody can be denied the right to defend themselves. Then number 3 says, hey, we're going to have a militia. Militia can protect us as a group. We don't need to defend ourselves against an army. No, we're going to have a militia and a military. And then they can't be quartered in anybody's house without their permission. Can't just go and take over somebody's house because you feel like it. And then the 4th Amendment, hey, search and seizure. Y'all going to want to search people's homes just like the king used to do over there in England. Well, you can't search somebody's home not without probable cause. And how do you get probable cause? Probable cause can only be determined by a court. Cannot be determined by the police department. Cannot be determined by no stupid attorney general. We ain't even got a provision in this Constitution for no stupid attorney general. Go back and look and see that we ain't put nothing in here about no stupid attorney general. Attorney general ain't got no power. Ladies and gentlemen, attorney general is under the executive branch. Go back and look and see if the Constitution provides a provision for the executive branch to issue warrants and subpoenas. Well, technically, all 3 branches of government can issue a warrant. All 3 branches of government can issue a subpoena. That's why you have congressional subpoenas. Okay. However, only the courts have judicial power. Not the legislative courts, not the administrative courts, not the statutory courts. No. The judicial power courts have judicial power. No other court has judicial power. Not Congress, not the administrative branch. Only the judicial branch has judicial power. And No warrant shall issue unless and upon probable cause. That means there has to be a probable cause hearing. The judge cannot hear evidence in private. There's no such provision. All judicial matters are public matters. You cannot have a private matter. It's all public. Why? Because anyone accused of a crime affects public policy, affects the public, affects the people as a whole. So it's public, not private. Don't tell nobody this because they will sit up there and try to argue with you. But here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. Everything I'm saying, you're not going to find anybody who's going to be able to successfully argue the points. Like I said, I've been doing this for a while. The Constitution is based on logic, based on common law. It is not based on all of these case laws. Every time I'm looking at these courts and they're responding with some stupid case law, don't respond to me with no stupid case law. You don't get to make no law. Your opinion don't matter to me. You're supposed to come to facts and conclusions of law. Well, when a so-called prosecution or an attorney brings a claim against you, they're not stating facts. You know what they're stating? Pay attention. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not stating facts. What they're stating is opinion, presumption. There's nothing in the Constitution that permits a presumption. You don't believe me? Go ahead and take a look. I'm not the one who created this junk. That's right, you heard me say junk. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I wanted to bring to your attention. I hope I brought it to your attention. Now, with that being said, we're going to go ahead. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, well. We're going to go ahead and bring this video to an end. I do wish everybody to have a great day on this so-called unholy day, where the United States went and foreclosed on the Indians who never had a contract with them for their land, but foreclosed on them anyway and kicked them off their own land. That's right. This was the greatest eviction in the world's history. And guess what? They're getting ready to do their second act. But trust me, if you did the right trust and put your property in the right trust, you will be able to forestall somebody coming after your property. You'll still owe the money because you signed a contract, okay? But that collateral, you'll be able to protect your assets. Protect your assets. Notice that all asset protection plans are associated with trust agreements. Okay, protect your properties, people. Protect your properties, people. Protect your properties, people. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Bye-bye.